I've talked about this on stream, but I don't think I've ever made a full video going over it. I'm very confident that none of you watching this video right now will be able to guess my least favorite genre of content on the internet. This isn't like a pop quiz, this is a step above that. This is an SAT level question here. And I'm reading you like a book, I'm inside your mind. I've infiltrated your noodle like Charles Xavier. I bet all of you went to something simple and obvious, like, oh, his least favorite genre of content has gotta be pranks, or fake videos, cringe trends, scammers, and they're all great guesses. Of course, I do dislike all of that, but it's not my least favorite genre of content on the entirety of the cyberspace. That honor belongs to the douchebags that drive cars extremely fast and dangerously on public roads around other people, endangering their lives. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. There's a group of losers online who come from very privileged backgrounds. Most of these people are like late teens, early 20s that come from mommy and daddy's money and never stop suckling on their tit to get as much dollars out of their family as they can. So these trust fund kids have these expensive cars and they flex by just driving them fast on like the interstate or even residential roads, and they just disregard every other vehicle on the road, weave around them, blow by them, whatever. Just caution to the wind, and obviously it's extremely dangerous, but it's also extremely boring. They're not doing anything impressive. They're not like fucking Dominic Toretto ramping a muscle car off of a parked tow truck like it's something out of GTA 5. They are actual just goobers, not even on manual transmission 9 times out of 10, just going around innocent people and going by them extremely fast. It's fucking stupid. It is legitimately like watching static on a television screen. It's just mind-numbing. So it's not only dangerous, but it's for literally no entertainment value at all. I guess for them it's like an adrenaline rush because they could die at any moment, because obviously they can at those speeds. But the reason I'm talking about this is because one of these assholes actually just went viral, and he's been getting dunked on ever since. And I've actually been following his Twitter since he popped off because I wanted to see what else he does, and this is his whole personality. All he does is drive his mom's BMW fast and recklessly. Wow, holy shit, that was epic. Did you see how fast he was going? On a straight road, doing nothing, not even stick shifts, automatic transmission, he's Weenie Hut Jr. mode. It's like watching the world's most boring cutscene in a video game. That is this dude. That is this whole fucking community. So obviously a million things could have gone wrong here. Someone could have been trying to cross the street. Someone could have been making a lane change and he wouldn't have had time to stop at the speed he was going because it was over 100 and there would have been no survivors. He's also driving one-handed while filming with the other, which is just another thing to add to the laundry list of dog shit about this video. I've also seen this guy's arms, and I've got to tell you, he's got that fucking SpongeBob build, but without the anchor arms. I am shocked he even has the strength to open the door to this BMW to get inside of it. So I hate this shit. I hate this more than Garfield hates Mondays. This is my least favorite genre of content by far. He is not the only one doing it, obviously, but right now he is the proudest douchebag about it, and this went the most viral, so it's got people talking about it. He's also just this insufferable asshole in the comments who keeps flexing his parents' wealth on people, saying that anyone that dislikes this is just poor, and he openly recognizes that this is going to get him killed. This fucking guy is glued to his Twitter replies like a teenage girl on Instagram. He is replying to everyone, so I've actually got a pretty good handle on this dude's entire personality. He loves like Rainbow Six Siege and shit, and loves endangering the lives of innocent people around him. He has no remorse. He openly talks about how it doesn't bother him, and that when he does crash, it's probably going to lead to him dying. Though he did mention in one other case that if he does crash and survives, he'll probably just run away. What a stand-up guy. What an absolute gold star citizen right there. What a fucking hero. Now with this kind of content, it's just a ticking time bomb. It's really just a matter of when, not if, he crashes. So the best case scenario here, like the best outcome you can hope for, is that when he inevitably does crash, he doesn't take any lives with him. Just gotta hope for a single car accident. Maybe he even survives and learns from the experience, but the most important part is no one else is a victim of this guy's recklessness. This isn't the only video he's posted. Like I mentioned, he has posted another one 3 days ago doing the same thing but endangering more people's lives on the interstate. I forgot to mention, this imbecile actually has the audacity to watermark these videos. It's so laughably pathetic that he actually believes this is something to be proud of. So goddamn embarrassing. I don't know how the fuck you can be so delusional to think that this is something cool. It's also such a headache because I can't use my favorite Fast and Furious line of granny shifting, not double clutching like you should, because it doesn't apply to this guy because he's in automatic transmission again, you fucking worm. He's not even granny shifting. He probably doesn't even know what it means. But yeah, just another demonstration of douchebaggery here. Just weaving between cars. Most likely just families on the way home from school or work. How cool, I guess. Just putting them in danger. No matter how great a driver you are, and trust me, this guy is not a great driver, there are just some things you can't account for on the road. And that's other people. There is so much uncertainty when driving that you cannot actually have any power over. The other people on the road behind the wheel are always unpredictable, so driving recklessly around them is just a death wish. This kind of selfish clout goblin behavior, this look at me, I'm the main character kind of shit that leads to content like this is so fucking frustrating. It's so dumb. I can't stand it. And the most insulting part of all of it is he's putting everyone at risk around him, all of their lives in danger, for boring content too. It's not even entertaining content. It's not even like this is thrilling to watch. It's a fucking snooze fest. It's all of it, top to bottom, is complete trash. Absolute trash. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit today, and that's about it. So yep. I know all of you already know this, but I can't stand public nuisance streamers, the absolute degenerate losers who go out into the world and film themselves just harassing random people. Basically, just pathetic worms that go out into the world and treat strangers like NPCs to spit on and use as props for their content. And one of the biggest goofballs in this category of content is named Johnny Somali, and he was just arrested in Japan, which is the most unsurprising news of all time. The only shocking thing about this story is that it hasn't happened sooner. Johnny Somali is a name you might have heard a couple of times over the last few months because he has said himself that he will do anything necessary to achieve clout, and the path he's chosen for that is to go to Japan and just harass everyone by spamming racist shit at them and a lot of deplorable garbage. It's a mystery how he hasn't been deported or killed. He actually flirted with death one time on stream not too long ago, actually, where he was barking up the wrong tree and was nearly sent to meet his maker.
Yeah, man, and what?
Just don't. All you have to say
Don't
is
grab nothing. Oh.
Anonymous sent $3 Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Hiroshima.
外国人同士喧嘩してんぞ、殴り合いめっちゃしてんぞ。金玉を殴り合いしてんぞ、外国人。
Absolutely beautiful haymaker delivered there, complete with like a Viking screech there, like a primal guttural yell as he delivers the most telegraphed hook I've ever seen in my life. But these two goobers didn't react to it at all. They just ate it like it was a bowl of cereal. And I also loved the timing of that donation because it played that Mario coin sound effect, so it actually felt like he had just got the coins beat out of him by this guy. And I love that we also have another camera angle here to capture the aftermath because they tried to play it off like it barely hit them, but you can actually see one of them pooled blood a little bit on the ground because they got knocked out, like briefly. So it's everything about that just felt amazing to watch. It's very hard to root for someone, you know, committing a public assault, but when they're instigating and the entire purpose for them being in Japan is to instigate conflict like this, it's hard not to at least pump your fist and cheer when they finally get what they deserve. And man, once again, very impressive delivery of this wallop. It was a wombo combo. He blasted both of them. Fucking Johnny Somali watched his friend get clobbered, and then he said, "Excuse me, what about second breakfast? May I have one? I want what he's having." And then he also gets blasted too. Like, he did nothing to prevent it at all. He just sat there and took it. The camera angle where we can see what happened after they get dropped, and like all of their like belongings are scattered. I guess their fanny pack blew up when they fell over. It actually seems like they got the loot beat out of them in Diablo. Like when you defeat a mob and there's like loot left on the ground. That's what happened here. And they completely deserved it. They started that whole thing. That clapping really sums up this whole situation. When these two goofballs got dropped, everyone who witnessed it clapped. They celebrated. Like they had just watched their favorite sports team win a big game. They were happy to see them finally get dropped. Now, I'm not here just to go through memory lane of all of Johnny Somali's worst moments. There's plenty of videos that go over his history on why he's just an absolute degenerate loser. But he has now been arrested, and that's what I want to talk about, because that is a huge W. That is long overdue. So he got arrested because he broke into a construction site on stream, and there's footage of him being arrested because he films everything that happens there because it's all content. And this might actually be the happiest moment of his life because he knows this is another article about to be written about him, which means maybe a couple extra viewers there to point and laugh at him like the clown he is.
なんて言ってます？あ、で、これ、オッケー。オッケー、かけるよ。はい。おい、全部差し押さえないの。携帯電話と関係する証拠員。差し押さえ。はい。はい。34分ね。はい、大丈夫。これで33分。はい。
You can see his eyes light up. He is loving it. Having the handcuffs thrown on him, it's all being captured on stream. This is better than Christmas for him. He got the ultimate gift here. Santa Claus was real nice to him. And he got like a 72-hour ban on Kick, which was lifted, because obviously Kick doesn't ban anyone for fucking anything. Someone could go on Kick Live right now and execute a man in cold blood, and they'd probably just ban him for 24 hours and be like, well, he's probably learned his lesson by now. But anyway, even as Johnny was being arrested, he did not go quietly into the night. He made sure to deliver more high-quality, gut-busting comedy that he's become known for by mentioning nuclear disasters. Because that's all he fucking says there. He mentions the nuclear bombs during World War II and the Fukushima nuclear power plant disaster as jokes. That's the joke he likes to make. He's literally just an edgy bot. There's barely even a brain left in his skull. He's just been programmed to say the most generic, edgy shit that he can muster up in order to jingle keys in front of his pathetic chat that supports him. So, as of right now, there's no new updates on the status of Johnny, whether he's still in custody or if he's even going to be allowed to stay in Japan. Hopefully, he won't be allowed to stay in Japan unless it's staying in a prison, because he's just been terrorizing Japan. And after months of documented evidence of his behavior and the deplorable shit he's done over there, I don't understand why they'd let him stay there with no problem at all. But I guess we'll see. I want to give you a bonus clip though, give you a little dessert here on top of all this, because there's another public nuisance streamer who just found himself in some hot water, with his life flashing before his eyes off of problems that he created for himself.
He's sitting right over fucking there and no one's paying attention. You know why? Because of racism. Yep. That's not funny.
Funny.
No.
It's very funny.
Why is that funny?
Because that is funny.
Alright. You, me, Central Park, tomorrow. Don't be late, motherfucker.
Do it now. Ain't no reason to wait. What happened? Yeah, what happened?
Who could have possibly predicted this outcome? Are you trying to tell me a guy like this is a coward? Say it ain't so. I don't believe you. I don't believe what I'm seeing here. So full disclosure, I don't know who this guy is. It seems like he's just another one of those revolting ooze douchebags that just instigate conflict, but in this case, the person that he's starting all the hoopla with actually just calls him out on it, and he's like, alright, then we'll fucking fight. The streamer point blank challenges him, tells him to meet him in Central Park tomorrow. Obviously, he's being very vague on purpose because he has no plans of engaging in any kind of pugilistic combat here. And then when the stranger's like, no, why wait? We can just settle it now. Which is such a badass line, and the second he unzips his jacket, you can almost hear the streamer's heart skip a beat. He's getting palpitations, and fight or flight kicks in, and you know he's not fighting, so he just bolts out. I have no doubt that is the fastest he's ever run in his entire life.
Alright. I hope he doesn't chase me, because I don't want to fight him. Am I a pussy beta? Perhaps. But I don't know.
I'd legitimately feel bad for him if he wasn't such a scumbag. You can hear the size of realization where he comes to terms with actually just being a fucking loser. He couldn't even cobble together some kind of loose defense of his actions here. He goes, am I a pussy beta? Perhaps, but... I don't know. Like, he's starting to get some self-realization here at the pathetic specimen that he's become. You can also tell from the chat what kind of community he's fostered over there, so not exactly someone to feel really bad for here. The only one to feel bad for is the guy that was being harassed, because he didn't even get the closure of being able to get a few good shots in on this fucking loser. But anyway, I just wanted to share all of this information with you. Great news with Johnny Somali being arrested. Great news with this guy having a very embarrassing clip of him being a coward come out. And yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. There's a particular clown I've made a couple videos on over the years because he can't help but embarrass himself sometimes. And in the crypto community, he's looked at in the same way a fart is, where it's something that just makes you laugh because it's a little silly and a little stinky. His name is MoistCr1tikal. I'm not here to just give you a recap and go over his resume. There's plenty of content that goes over all of the shady things he's done over the years. Instead, I want to focus on the modern day, present day, 2023 AD, where once again MoistCr1tikal couldn't help but make a fool of himself. He just broadcast an unhinged live stream here on YouTube that frightened more people than the original run of the Blair Witch Project. He was streaming himself outside of an individual's house that he was having beef with and accused him of stealing his Lamborghini. So he was there to confront him directly and had a weapon in his car as well. So the whole situation was dangerous. The things he was saying was alarming. And eventually officers do arrive there, but then there's another plot twist that's revealed at the end that nobody, not even God himself, would have seen coming. This whole stream played out like a mission in Grand Theft Auto 5. So I'm going to show you some clips from it. For the first clip here, I'm not going to show you any of the video footage because he just reveals where this guy lives. So I don't want to show any of that, but I want you to hear the audio because I think it's important.
Carlos has my Lamborghini right here in his garage. So today, guys, I'm going to be live streaming and I'm going to be telling the entire story.
Now, it's important to give even further context to what led to this situation. He's there because he believes this man stole his Lamborghini, and he's going to spill the beans, let the cat out of the bag here, and talk in depth about this individual as well as his association with this deep cast of characters and different things. And it's a lot of very eyebrow-raising, alarming accusations he makes against them with things he's said he's done or things that he's capable of doing. And from everything I've read from the community, as well as everything I've read up on in the BitBoy cinematic universe leading up to this situation, no one knows if any of these accusations are truthful. However, even if everything he says here is beyond a shadow of a doubt the truth, MoistCr1tikal is fluent in facts, all of this is legitimate, everyone can agree that he handled it in the worst way possible. This is not how you should have handled this situation at all. It should have gone to authorities, have it go through court. Instead, Ben, his name is Ben, rolls out here like he's fucking Batman. He's rolling out here like he's the spirit of vengeance, scooting in sideways with his truck and a weapon in his truck, just in case shit gets hairy. Like, that is not optimal at all. And then streaming the whole thing on YouTube, turning it into a fucking spectacle, is bafflingly unhinged.
Hey, how's it going? Yep. Hey, how's it going?
No,
oh,
stop.
Oh, stop. I couldn't hear.
You have a weapon on you.
No, I do not.
Okay.
I do not.
So.
I have one in my vehicle, but I do not have a weapon on me.
Okay.
Now, this is when the cops arrive into the equation. They confront Ben saying, "Hey, bub, what's going on here, Buster, huh? What's all the commotion?" And this is when a very intriguing narrative starts to unwind.
Okay.
Do me a favor. Take out your whatever.
I'm sorry, I reached too fast. I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay.
Put your phone down.
Okay.
Put your phone down.
Okay. I'll put the phone down. Okay.
Put the phone.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Put the phone down.
Put the fanny pack down.
Okay.
Him putting that phone down was harder than getting a child to eat their vegetables. He did not want to put that phone down because for him, it seems like he's fully content-brained, and all of this is great for the stream. So he really didn't want to put that phone down, but eventually he plays ball, but he makes sure to put it down in a way that it still captures him and all of the glory that's happening here. Which is so fucking weird why he wouldn't just turn the stream off here. He is proudly filming his most embarrassing moment in this dimension. He is going to the Doofus Club to receive high accommodation, and he's doing it with a smile on his face.
What's going on?
What's going on? This man inside of this house.
Actually, he's gonna check you real quick.
Absolutely.
Just the weapons.
I'm sorry. I have a. Okay. Yep. No weapons. No
Where in
weapons.
the car is your gun?
It's in the back seat.
Back seat?
Yep.
Is anybody else in the car?
I feel like I should mention that this wasn't something that caught him off guard. He even said earlier in the stream that he'd like the cops to show up. He knew that this was a very likely situation where cops would arrive at the scene, and he welcomed it with open arms. But now that they're here, it's not exactly seeming like he's all that happy to see them. And the officer just asked him a very important question. Is there anyone else in the car? And boy howdy, you're not ready for what comes next. I don't care how much you've studied the periodic table, you are not prepared for this element of surprise.
Yes, who's in the car?
Who's in the car? Who?
What's that?
Who's in your car?
Who's in my car?
Yes.
Okay. Let's,
Who's in your car?
who's in my car?
Who's in your truck, sir?
Cassie is in my car. Cassie's in my
All
truck.
right, Cassie.
Cassie's in my truck. My wife knows that we're here, by the way. She knows we came to do this. But my wife is aware. So we're live on YouTube right now.
Okay.
We got about 2,500 people watching. So Cassie is a girl I had an affair with. She's involved in this situation with me and this guy here.
My jaw was on the floor. I actually felt like I was watching some kind of early 2000s, like Young and the Restless, some kind of soap opera. Like, you couldn't have scripted that any more dramatic. Like, he starts taking those pauses, like, who's in my car? Sweat pouring down his face, maybe like a close-up zoom in. Well, let's, who's, in my car? That car. Yeah, who's in my... And then eventually, he finally spits it out. Fucking Spitboy Crypto here finally lets the officer know who's in the vehicle after he asked the question. The officer had to pull teeth to get there, but he finally states that the woman in the car is the woman he's cheating on his wife with. And then immediately, like, he knows Stream is watching because he made sure of it. He, for some reason, didn't anticipate that the officers would look at his car and realize there's another human being there. So I guess it just never even registered in his smooth brain that the officers were going to find out that the woman he's having an affair with is at the scene. Unless she activated some kind of active camouflage out of Halo or some shit, some kind of forbidden, ninjutsu to disguise herself, like they were going to find her. And for some reason, he kept the stream on, even knowing that was going to happen. So he immediately starts talking to Stream, and not even the officers really, like, but my wife knows that Cassie and I are here. I had an affair with Cassie, but my wife knows we're here. We had actually just come from my daughter's tennis match. She knows we're over here doing this. It's not exactly scummy or slimy because my wife knows that the woman I'm cheating on her with is here with me at the scene with this guy that I'm having this problem with.
In the situation with me and this guy here, my wife knows. We were just at my daughter's tennis match. Cassie and I have came over here because this man is extorting me. He's death threatening me. He stole my Lamborghini. My Lamborghini is in his garage right now.
The officer just did the kindest thing anyone's ever done for BitBoy Crypto in his whole life. He turned the show off. He takes his phone, turns it face down so that people can no longer see all the action and all of that. Now, he doesn't turn the stream off, maybe he didn't know how, but he puts the phone face down and he leads BitBoy Crypto away from it so you can't really hear him very well and you can't see anything anymore. So he just made it private, which is what this whole thing should have been in the first place. If all of these accusations are true and all of that, it should have been handled privately and instead of turning it into a live stream and escalating to a point where you're bringing a fucking weapon to this guy's house. Now, the stream continues for about 18 minutes after this, but it's all just the void. So you can't see anything anymore. Eventually the stream ends. Now, the stream lasted just shy of 40 minutes, and throughout the entirety of it, he is speaking very rushed. He's very out of breath. At sometimes it really feels like he may be under the influence of something. Of course, I'm not there with a fucking toxicology report I'm just giving it the old eyeball test. He's just speaking in a way that feels like he's not in his right mind. He's not in a healthy headspace. And most of the community is attributing a lot of this to the really rough month BitBoy Crypto has had. I mentioned that I was reading up on the BitBoy Crypto cinematic universe. Well, that's a novel longer than Homer's Odyssey. It has so much that has happened in Ben's life over the last month that it has been an incredibly long read on getting caught up with the lore. But basically, he's had his whole life turned on its ass. It's in a position now where he feels he has been the victim of a scam, which a lot of people in the community felt was incredibly ironic and actually a gut-bustingly great joke, because for a long time BitBoy Crypto has actually had a reputation for being looked at as a scammer himself in the eyes of some people, with many feeling as though they've been victims of scams that he has run, allegedly. So when that information came out, the floodgates really started to open. A lot happened with his company, and he eventually was saying like he didn't even have $20 to fill up his tank of gas, and then was like asking the community for donations. It was a mess. But a lot of that has been going on over the last month, and then it led up to this. So there is speculation that perhaps this is his breaking point. This is him having a meltdown, a breakdown that he is streaming now. And I think that's probably accurate. This whole situation here doesn't exactly come from a thought process that's thinking rationally. Now, Ben did get arrested at the scene, but you can't put Big Ben in the pin for long. He spent about 8 hours in the slammer, according to his tweet this morning. He was charged with loitering, I guess, and he immediately took to Twitter to let the world know, you don't tussle with the muscle. According to BitBoy Crypto, he's been on steroids, and if that's the case, if that's true, I don't know where his muscles are. He must have minted those on the blockchain. Seems kind of a waste to be on steroids without actually working out. I also watched an interview where someone who has worked closely with Ben has accused him of suffering from roid rage, and I've seen a few people start to say that that's what this stream was, the product of a roid rage incident. I don't think that's the case, and I don't know how true the claim is that he has roid rage blow-ups from time to time, but I thought it was at least worth mentioning as, you know, a maybe that had something to do with this, but personally, I don't think it did. He also did make a lot of other tweets this morning. One of them really just makes it feel like we're stuck in a fucking reality TV show with him now, where he's talking about Cassie, the woman that he's cheating on his wife with. He comes out screaming that he's not getting rid of Cassie, saying that his friends and family have lied, manipulated him, they want to break them up, but he's never getting rid of her, never. And then says, me, my wife, and Cassie are trying to figure this out. We're all grown adults capable of making our own decisions, and we don't need any of you to help us with that decision. So please butt out of my personal life as it relates to my relationships. He's right, it is a personal relationship, and it should be a private matter, but with BitBoy Crypto, there's no such thing as privacy. That word, doesn't exist. He, for a long time, has shared so much about himself and his life online, publicly, for a long time. So, obviously, people know a lot about his situation because he kind of shares a lot of it. He may be a goofball, but he is correct about something here, that they are all adults and they can make their own decisions. That is true. But if I may chime in with a little unsolicited advice to his wife, don't stay with a man who's going to cheat on you. Why be faithful to a man who's not going to be faithful to you? If this was a polyamorous relationship and it was agreed upon in this marriage where they could see other people, that'd be one thing, that'd be fine, you'd be on the same page. But from everything that's been put out there, it was not a poly relationship. This was an extracurricular activity happening outside of the marriage. So if you want to try and work through it together, that's your right, that's totally fine, that's what you want to do. But just know, he has very much drawn a line in the sand. No matter what happens, come hell or high water, Cassie will be there. So basically you're now making a decision moving forward on whether you want to stay with BitBoy Crypto and also marry his mistress, because he's made it clear, she's not going anywhere. She's tagging along forever in this WWE match we call life. So again, they're adults, they can make their own decision with what they want to do with this. This is a private matter that for some reason BitBoy just keeps taking publicly. But anyway, just a wildly dangerous and bafflingly unhinged situation here with this stream, and that's really about it. Just wanted to give you the update on the BitBoy crypto saga here. That's it. So yeah. I'm about to scare you with one little word: moderators. When I say Twitch mod or Reddit mod, Discord mod, you immediately get a picture of someone in your head, and it's not a very flattering image, I imagine. You're probably picturing someone that looks like Urgot out of League of Legends. You know, someone with pizza grease dripping down their poop-stained trousers in a dark room. Some sex-obsessed loser who's always just scheming and talking about getting laid. It's become a very negative title. It's mainly just become an insult. You know, you call someone a Twitch mod during an argument like, "Hey, Buster, stupid face, you look like a Twitch mod." It's like, "Oh, why I never? What did you say to me? Twitch mod? Put him up then, tough guy." You know, it's just, it's a title that's got a very bad reputation over the last few years. And right now there's a viral clip going around where it's claiming a Twitch mod said these really weird things during a stream moment.
But I met a girl who's a streamer. I went up to her, I hugged her, and I came in my pants. Wow. Hug her.
Man's looking like he's about to come in his pants again just talking about it, reminiscing on the glory days of that hug. So, the title that's going around with this video is that this is a Twitch mod for a famous female streamer. And that's not exactly the truth of this situation. That's a bogus, phony baloney story here, a load of horseradish just used to generate extra clicks and attention on the video. I actually immediately recognized the guy in the video here because I'm like a fucking librarian when it comes to internet degeneracy. I'm like Jarvis in Tony Stark's Iron Man suit, just this damn near omniscient AI, but all I can fixate on is dog shit internet weird stuff. So I recognized him, and he is like a real-world anime character full of mystery and mystique. There is actually an entire pseudo-documentary about him, which I'll talk about a little bit more, but let me show you the rest of the clip before doing a full dive.
I think you need to get laid a little more often, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was gonna say, was she hot though? Was she like super duper duper hot?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's forgivable if she was super duper duper hot.
Yeah.
Now, if she was only super duper hot, this would be unforgivable, but she was super duper duper hot, and I mean, I think we can all understand a little premature ejaculation from hug contact there, obviously. I mean, that's the threshold, that's the rules. So that's the clip that's really popped off, because it's a goofily, awful, embarrassing moment captured, and he is very proud about the ejaculatory experience here from a simple hug. Like, actual busted nut from a hug. I mean, that's something that you couldn't torture that information out of me. Like, you couldn't waterboard me enough to have me admit to ejaculating from a fucking hug. And yet, here's this man at a bar just telling it like it's an old war story or something, and he's got like an audience around him that's like, "Oh, interesting there, brother, what the fuck?" Yeah, it's a very weird clip, and people keep pointing and laughing at him, obviously, but they also keep calling him a Twitch mod, and that's just not accurate. Now, full transparency here, there is a possibility that he was at some point someone's Twitch mod, but it's not who they were claiming, and he's not known for being a mod of any popular streamers or any female streamers for that matter, but there is a chance that he does or has modded for someone or some people in the past. That information I don't fully have knowledge on, but I do know a lot more about this guy than most people seem to, which is surprising because he's actually very well known in the Twitch community. There is a whole documentary about him. He was a 27-year-old virgin at the time of filming this video here, and it's a very open and honest look into his whole life. He became known for his extremely aggressively sexual comments in people's stream chats, female streamers' stream chats, as well as his tweets, where they're all just sexually charged. A lot of them are about pegging and just how often he's nutting, making his cum face, his orgasm face. Like, it's all very sexually charged stuff. So he got a reputation for being, like, creepy for that. And what's very interesting is that he actually opens this interview with the channel Built Differently with the exact same speech, the exact same proud monologue that he just gave in this viral clip that came out 2 days ago.
Well, there was one time when I met ST Peach. She gave me a hug. I met her the first time, and I ended up jizzing my pants. I ended up leaving the convention, going back to my hotel room, changing my underwear and my pants, and then going back to the convention.
It's got sad music playing like Mr. Krabs on the world's smallest violin, but he seems very proud of this. He's now told this story twice. This feels like it must have been the most exciting moment of his entire being. Like the entire 27 years he's spent on this planet all led up to that moment of filled trousers from the hug. So like he's just very upfront with everything about himself, and he is a virgin, or was a virgin when this was filmed, which I imagine most of you are saying like, yeah, that sounds about right. That's par for the course being a moderator. But his story, like his X-Men origin story, is probably a little different than what you're expecting. He is a virgin by choice. He had a girlfriend, he says it'd been about 10 years, and the reason they broke up is because he didn't want to fuck her without a condom, and she was insistent on him clapping her cheeks raw. I mean, of course, you have to take all this with a grain of salt. There's a possibility he's just making up erotica fanfic here. It could not be real. But he is telling this story about his previous girlfriend, and now it's been 10 years, and he doesn't masturbate, and he doesn't watch porn. All he does now is have wet dreams and make sexually charged tweets and shit all the time. He also then told a story about how he went up to some girl's hotel room during a convention and she got naked, and then he said, nope, I'm out of here, not doing that. He is saving himself for the right girl. So he is a virgin by choice until he meets a fucking angel, which is totally fine. You know, he shouldn't feel pressured into having sex if he doesn't want to. But then on the flip side of that coin, why is he always talking about sex? Like, that is his whole brand, is always talking about sex. He has built a reputation on Twitter for, like, replying to female streamers' tweets with, like, pictures of himself and then making conversational sexual topics out of it. It's very weird. So if he is choosing not to have sex, why does he just always talk about it? And then in the same interview, the interview is fascinating, by the way. In that same interview, he says that there's really no streamer that he'd even want to date. Yet he is always, like, horny posting in their chats and on Twitter. It's so interesting.
I think one other time, this was like the third TwitchCon, but this was like at a party when I was drunk. Yeah. There was a bunch of girls dancing up on me, and then I just like, yeah.
That's badass.
Dallas.
He's also just constantly dumping yogurt into his pants anytime there's physical contact with a woman, it seems. He tells a couple instances here where he once again blows his load in his pants. This is the beginning of the beginning of the interview here. So he was just like proud of it, it seems.
Like 3 times out of the week, I usually wake up and it's like a puddle. If I did, I would feel out of place. You know what I mean? It's not.
Oh,
me.
dude, I just forgot that you come on this bed. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be sitting on it. Yeah, just.
Now, since he doesn't masturbate, allegedly, it sounds like his body is rebelling against him, so he says about 3 times a week he wakes up in puddles of cum. That's a terrible way of starting your day. Waking up in a puddle of cum, just splashing in cum every time you wake up, that sounds fucking terrible. And what I want to talk about briefly here is the way his room is decorated. You can see all of the Twitch merchandise, Twitch everything, and then a Twitch streamer's photo on the shelf behind his bed. So he very clearly lives and breathes the Twitch ecosystem, and I legitimately do find that very sad. I don't think anyone should make a hobby their whole personality, no matter what it is. Whether you're a big fan of Twitch streamers or anything like that, it should never become your whole personality where everything you do kind of revolves around it, and that's the impression I kind of get from him, where he spends so much time in all of these streamers' chats, and a lot of what he says is sexually charged, and it translates into the real world where he has all of this Twitch stuff everywhere, including like a picture of a streamer that he really, really likes. It almost makes it seem like something out of Hey Arnold with Helga and like the monument she builds for Arnold. It's just, it's an obsession, and that's not good.
Fear because I ejaculate so much in my sleep that the first girl I ever have sex with, I'm gonna end up getting her pregnant. I also know that because like I got tested for my sperm, and it's like I got like those double-headed. My sperm count is up there.
the potent god seed, I suppose, talking about like double-headed sperm. Man's got fucking chimera sperm, I guess. Wild stuff. Like I said, it's a very fascinating interview. They eventually take him to a strip club. It's all very wacky. But yeah, I guess the only thing I really wanted to focus on is that the story is wrong around that clip. He's not a Twitch mod. He's something much more than that. He's been well known in the community for a long time now. And still, of course, a very weird clip. In fact, a series of very weird clips from him. And very weird tweets and Twitch chat messages over the years. But yeah, I just want to talk about this a little bit, and that's about it. So yeah, there's so many things in this world that can make you frown. Undercooked meat, getting a porta potty tipped over on you while you're inside, just to name a couple. I want to give you something that can make you smile. One of those public nuisance streamers whose whole existence revolves around making everyone's lives around them worse as their content has just been arrested. 2023 has actually been a pretty solid year for streamers everyone hates getting thrown in the slammer, finally facing some real repercussions for their awful behavior and unbelievable cringe, such as the streamer Johnny Somali, who is still currently in jail in Japan right now, God bless. Now, I haven't seen a follow-up to the individual we're going to talk about right now, so I'm going to delve into fantasy like it's the fucking Magic Treehouse here. In my little headcanon fanfic, he is currently sitting in his prison cell blubbering his little eyes out like a bitch. And this clip actually makes me extremely happy. It reminds me that Christmas is right around the corner because it gets me in a joyful spirit, and just as old Saint Nicholas taught us, it's better to give than to receive. So I wanted to give you all the gift of a big ear-to-ear grin as we watch this insufferable asshole get arrested, but also what led up to it.
Hey, listen up. You look so cute and you look so delectable. I want to put you on a plate and just eat you up. How about that? What's your name, baby? I know you're sorry. You're sorry you can't get with a hunk like me. You're sorry you're stuck with a cuck that you fucking cheat on. You record videos of you sucking off other guys and he wants to see that shit. Correct me if I'm wrong.
This guy's voice sounds like someone doing an impression of a Redditor. He's got that quintessential nasally loser voice, and clearly he knows he's not actually going to end up getting this girl's number or anything like that. He's being as abrasive as possible because it's content for his stream to entertain them by just going up and harassing women as much as possible. Admittedly, this guy is also self-aware enough to recognize that he is a creep, but instead of doing anything to fix that and better himself, he's more than happy to lean into it as much as possible to become the ultimate creep. He has adopted it as his only personality trait, being a loveless, sexless loser, and tries to make a career out of it. He is actually striving to be a professional dumpster for everyone in the chat to spit in and laugh at. It is pathetic. Dude's out here more dripless than I am, by the way. He's out here rocking a yellow t-shirt, bright yellow, looking like Curious George's friend, the man in the yellow jacket. Goober's also got some of the worst posture I've ever seen in public. He's more hunched over than that iconic photo of Goatman in the forest. So I already know when he's not out in public harassing people for his stream, he's inside on the computer doom-scrolling the internet, rotting and withering away. Now, of course, I'm not usually one to criticize posture, because sometimes when I'm streaming, I get fucking hunched over and right up against the monitor too. But at least when I'm out in public, I'm self-aware enough to recognize that you gotta straighten that shit up.
And that happens regularly, right? Because it's true. Tell me I'm right on the money or not. Tell me, okay, listen up, baby. I'm so sorry. You know, I really tried. God damn you. Her booty's so small. Fuck.
It's so cute how he also has a friend with him that's doing the same thing, but from a distance, kind of whispering it to stream, just insulting the girl for the audience. What an unbelievable power couple of fucking douchebags.
I don't want to bother you guys, I'm not trying to be creepy in any way, but can I get like one of your numbers and I'll be on my way and then we can meet up?
We're actually going to go meet our boyfriends right now. So.
Oh, so I can't take you out or do anything like that?
Yes, really quick, just stop right now.
Sorry.
Doesn't matter what you want. Do you want?
We're just, here's what we're wondering.
Sorry.
You're just so fucking hot.
That second encounter right there is nightmarish. This girl's walking on the street alone. Two weirdos come up to her and say, "It doesn't matter what you want." And you can see her facial expression drop, just completely sink into a panic mode. I have no doubt she expected to be attacked by them or something, and you can see she picked up the pace, because who wouldn't? That's a fucking weird thing to have happen. That's frightening. And especially from these two guys who are just walking around, camera out, coming up to you in the middle of the night. Like, what the fuck? This whole shtick sucks. It's just going up and bothering people who are just going about their night. Just randomly coming up to women. Hey, pardon me, toots. Unsucked penis is a disease, and I'm suffering from it. Are you the cure? You should be. It's fucking dumb. And it's a lot worse than that. It's worse than just going up and doing cringy lines. It's sticking around, bothering people, and in this case, scaring a woman who's walking home alone.
Want to be my girlfriend for 5 minutes? Do you want to just go on a little date?
We're gonna walk for a bit.
Okay.
Just a pinky.
Okay.
Pinky?
So
Okay.
you can hold my hand.
Oh.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, I'm here with my girlfriend. I'm here with my girl. Can you guys just shut the fuck up? I'm here with my girlfriend.
Okay,
Just shut the
don't
fuck
scare
up.
people.
Get the fuck out of here. I'm here with my girlfriend. You're making too much noise. Get the fuck out of here, asshole. Fucking prick. I'm so sorry, Luna.
No, this is dumb.
Please.
No.
No, I was just protecting you.
No,
I was
I don't
protecting
want
you,
that,
baby.
no.
Please.
Ha, you get it? The joke is he's just pretending to be an unhinged lunatic. I don't know why you couldn't understand the gut-busting comedy of that. I'm gonna toss a quick fun fact your way, so get ready to receive it. About a month ago, I made a video going over shitty streamers like this guy and his friend, and I'm almost 100% certain that this is the same guy that ran away when someone he was harassing finally took him up on the offer to fight. He was the guy that instigated a conflict, and then the guy he was doing it to said, alright, let's just settle it right now. And immediately this guy bolted off. I'm being very generous with that term. Bolted in the same way that an alcoholic zombie would stumble across the street, because this guy is not athletic at all. But he ran away as quickly as his goofy little legs could take him, and then had this brief come-to-Jesus moment where he recognized just how sad and pathetic he is. Just this impressive specimen of trash.
All right. You and me, Central Park, tomorrow. Don't be late, motherfucker.
Alright. I hope he doesn't chase me because I don't want to fight him. Am I a pussy beta? Perhaps. But I don't know.
Using all the latest and greatest in technology and summoning the world's leading forensic experts to analyze the footage here, I think we can all conclude with a high level of confidence that this guy and the guy that I've been showing you who's about to get arrested here on stream are the same person. There's just no way that this world is forsaken enough to allow two people that sound, look, and act like him and stream like him to exist at the same time. I just don't believe that. It's the same person. I'm pretty sure of it.
You love it.
you know that there's like a...
Excuse me, what's going on? What's going on?
Relax.
Put your hands behind your back.
Put your hands behind your back.
What's going on?
You're being placed under arrest.
For what?
I'll tell you in a minute. Yeah. You just want to talk to you, you want to run. All right, now we're going to put you on your side.
So they're arresting Carl, guys. Carl did nothing wrong.
Ah, yes, the good ending. Tugs on your heartstrings. It's a beautiful thing to witness. You love to see that. I can't imagine a more fitting conclusion here. I don't know why his buddy's saying he did nothing wrong. He immediately tried to run from the cops who were about to start talking to him. You can't do that. Like, what the fuck? I imagine they got called there for a disturbance, like, hey, there's this weirdo and his weirdo friend that keep harassing everyone nearby, so the cops are coming to tell him to, like, cut that shit out. And then Chief Goofball here immediately tries to run. Well, it's not really a run. This guy and run don't really go in the same sentence. He takes, like, 2 fee-fi-fo-fum steps that kind of resemble, like, speedier movement, and the cops are like, nah, putting the kibosh on this, and they just tackle him, they take him down, and then stand him back up. So, again, I don't know what the update is. I don't know if he's still in custody or what, or if there's any charges. I couldn't tell you. It just makes me happy to see that. It's just a big ol' asshole getting taken off the streets there, so I thought that might put a smile on some of your faces. That's about it. So, yep. Yeah, I'm wrapping up 2023 with the season finale, my own little YouTube rewind, where I go back through the internet's most insufferable worms from this year that I haven't previously covered, and I make fun of them now. Yesterday, it was Illuminati on the chopping block. Today, we're shooting spitballs at Jack Doherty. Jack Doherty's infamy online reached its crescendo about a month ago, hitting its peak, mainly because he became known as just this punching bag. His face was a knuckle sandwich magnet, so most of his viral clips were him getting slapped or being involved in some kind of fight that broke out, because he truly is just an insufferable asshole to be around. Now, make no mistake, don't misconstrue my words, Jack Doherty isn't the one fighting. He's the one getting beat like a drum, and I don't think I've ever seen him throw anything beyond one wet noodle punch that didn't connect. He usually has his bodyguards fight his battles for him, with conflicts that he starts and instigates, but he's around fights all the time. It's just, when you get near Jack Doherty, it's like a Dementor. It sucks the fun out of everything, and everyone gets uncomfortable and mad at him. He just has this indescribable X-Men mutation about him that makes him impossible to be around while also being in a good mood. So I'm going to go ahead and show you his most viral clip that ever came out from him, the legacy for which he will always be remembered. This is his magnum opus.
Go. Da-na-na-na.
What? Little bro, what you gonna do? What you gonna do, little bro? Yeah. Yeah.
This is Jack's iconic shtick, where he walks around causing a ruckus, just being this menace to society, harassing people, and then trying to get a rise out of them. The second someone looks like they're ready to get confrontational with Jack, he has his security guards swoop in and stop it, just put the kibosh on it immediately. He travels with his bodyguards that are basically his babysitters, his nannies, really his guardian angels. They're the only thing that's kept him alive this long, because he is such a piece of shit. Everybody wants to fight him when he does things like this, but his bodyguards protect him. And he still has the gall, the fucking chutzpah, to stand behind his bodyguards, peek his head over, and continue to insult the person. He actually looks like a cartoon villain out of Popeye. Like, look at the way he conducts himself. It's so bad. This would be the most embarrassing moment to somebody else, but for Jack, it's his proudest moment. Now, when it comes to insulting Jack Doherty here, I actually have skin in this game. Just like an 80s action movie tagline, this time it's personal. When I say he is insufferable to be around, I'm not just basing that off of the videos I see of him. I actually know Jack Doherty in real life. In fact, he was in one of my videos 4 years ago, but you probably didn't know that because I did my absolute best to edit him out of it. It's from a video 4 years ago when the local Tampa Police Department challenged me to complete their police academy. This was during the time where I was watching live PD and talking about police activity, making jokes about it. They invited me out there to try it myself. Well, Jack Doherty actually happened to be there on that same day. Despite my best efforts to rewrite history, you can't fully erase the stain. You can see the cringe cryptid right there in the yellow shirt. This is a young Jack Doherty spotting. At the time of filming that video, Jack would have been 16 years old. And I know it's not exactly cool to bully a child, but this wasn't a child, this was a demon. It's not just me that had an extremely negative impression of Jack on that day. Matt, Andrew, Tiana, and the officers all had nothing good to say about their experience being around Jack Doherty for like the 6 hours we were there. He was one of the most disrespectful people I had ever seen in person. For some reason, he was extremely loud most of the day, so anytime he tried to talk, he'd kind of yell it at the officers or anyone he was talking to, I suppose. It was like he was trying to get into a screaming match on an Xbox Live lobby for no reason. Like, I think that was just him trying to be hype for his video or something, but man, it was extremely annoying. But beyond that, anytime we were about to do one of the tests, or if the officers were trying to tell us something about one of the tests, he'd be like interrupting them frequently, and the yelling was giving me a goddamn headache. Like, none of us had anything positive to say about Jack. The only thing is, we all understood that he was a child, and he found internet fame extremely young. So clearly that had a poisonous effect on his mind, and we had all just kind of expected that he's going through a phase most likely, and he'd eventually grow out of this. But not only did he not grow height-wise, he also didn't grow personality-wise. His attitude is exactly the same. His face looks exactly the same as when he was a 13-year-old boy, which is highly unlucky for him, and maybe that explains why he lashes out so often. But overall, over the last 4 years, he's just gotten worse. He's gotten more degenerate, more aggressive, more hostile, and he's just a giant piece of shit now. Since he's had internet fame for so long, he truly believes that he is some kind of deity, this kind of internet god, and everyone is beneath him. He thinks he's superior to just the plebeians around him, so he uses all the strangers he comes in contact with on stream as props for his content, and his big thing is still basically having his bodyguard protect him all of the time, which is so fucking pathetic. But anyway, let's dive into a bit more of the Doherty lore. So he makes most of his money through OnlyFans. He manages a lot of OnlyFans girls, as well as having an OnlyFans of his own, which I think if you sign up for that, you need to be put on some kind of FBI watch list, because this looks like a child. That is a very fucking awful OnlyFans page to be subscribing to. You probably need to be investigated. But he makes all of his money there, basically, and he will never let you forget he is making a lot of money through managing these OnlyFans models. He frequently posts these flexes, talk shit all you want, you wish you could spend this much on your credit card in just 2 weeks, and it's just an absurd amount of money that he's dumping on garbage. He posts these at least once a week, and it's clearly engagement farming. He's just baiting people into getting mad at him and just shitting on him, because he's realized that that is his formula to success. He'll just cosplay as the communal urinal for the internet to collectively come take a piss in, because it gets him a little money off of like the Twitter posts, but maybe it gets him a couple extra OnlyFans subscribers or a few curious kids that'll watch his stream to see what kind of degeneracy unfolds. He's basically playing the villain. He's leaning into the role. I always find this to be an extremely sad path to take, because he is actually just becoming the clown on purpose, and eventually he's going to grow up. It's going to happen at some point, and it's going to be nothing but shame for him, I imagine, because who in the world would possibly want the legacy of just being the hated douchebag? That's not something to be proud of. Even if you do have a lot of money in your bank account from it, I can't imagine it feels good to explain to your friends and family how you got that money, because everyone dislikes you and makes fun of you. Like, there's no way that that's a rewarding experience. I don't think there's any reason to show you any more of his clips. They're all just infuriating garbage. It's just eye-rolling trash. Like, even just yesterday, or maybe it was the day before, he got into a confrontation with a bouncer over, like, a fake ID or something, according to the headlines. And it's once again just Doherty being the little goblin that he is. Just this little douchebag. And just an entitled asshole. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about him a little bit since I haven't talked about him all year, and I do actually know him. I'm using know really loosely. I met him one time, but that was enough to get an extremely accurate gauge on the kind of person he was then, and all I could do was pray that he wouldn't be that person in the future. But he became so much worse down the line, which is almost impressive, actually. So yeah, just wanted to talk about him a little bit. That's it. So yeah. Everyone knows that public nuisance streamers that go around harassing strangers, causing a commotion, and just making everyone's lives around them more miserable suck. Like, that's not a hot take. Everyone knows that. They're just this miasma of cringe that cause everyone a massive headache. But as I and many others have pointed out for years now, they do inspire an entire generation of young viewers to be losers like them, because they do find an audience, they do find success, they make money from it, so it becomes a career path and something that young kids want to do to try and emulate that behavior and be like them. It's fucking tragic, and now we're starting to see the results of all of this.
What the fuck? Put your hand in my food again, and I'm throwing all of your phones.
Hey, you're not touching our phone.
Don't put your hand in my food again. Do not do that. You don't do that.
This young whippersnapper can't be older than 11 years old, and he's already becoming a scourge. He's trying to do what all of the other public nuisance streamers do by just being a societal hemorrhoid. He still has his baby teeth. He hasn't even gotten his adult teeth yet, and he's already doing this shit. He just graduated from suckling milk out of his mother's bosom, and now he's trying to suckle milk out of Jack Doherty's titties here. He's just trying to get that clout through being a piece of shit. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, Charles, are you really going to be insulting an 11-year-old here? And the answer is a resounding absolutely. This needs to be squashed. You gotta put the kibosh on this immediately to learn that this is not acceptable at all. So absolutely, I will be insulting this kid and the entire goof troop that travels with him for these streams. Now, he has thankfully been banned for this, which is one of the very few times I've ever seen Kick ban someone. I imagine it's not a permaban, but it 100% should be. I guess we'll have to wait and see if it is. Yeah, though, this shit absolutely super sucks. So I'm doing a public service here by insulting them. Hopefully it discourages more people like this, and hopefully this kid grows and learns that it's awful. It's not even good content. People are watching you because you are a clown, and they're sitting on the edge of their seat waiting for you to get your ass beat. That is your entire audience. You are a fucking spittoon that they are spitting in. Why would you want that to be your whole brand? His whole stream is basically either arguing or fighting people, and this is him just taking food from a stranger's table. That lady then goes up to confront him, and I'll show you that clip in a moment. But in the same stream, he also gets in an actual fistfight with some other kids. His whole stream is just creating problems and instigating, hoping that someone will fight back, and he just yells and screams about it, or in this case, throws some wet noodle punches at them. So him and his goof troop fight this other group, and they know that they're not going to get their ass beat because they're too young. So the group that's taking these punches doesn't actually fire back. They push him away at one point, but they don't actually swing on him because they know they would be the ones to get in trouble because this is a toddler. So they're using their age as a shield because they know there's going to be no real repercussions.
Don't put your hand in my food again. Do not do that. You don't do that to people.
Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are?
Stop filming me.
You're a nobody.
It's a live stream. You can't stop me.
Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you?
Give me the phone.
Now you're not touching my fucking phone. Touch my phone, I'm gonna actually do something.
Are you gonna beat me up?
Back the fuck up. Back the fuck. I will.
How old are you? 5?
Kid's making threats to this woman, then he also has his friend, behind her just in case. It seems like he was contemplating sucker punching her. That's what it seemed like the synapses in his brain were about to fire and tell him to do there. This is his whole stream with him and his friends just wandering around, making problems with complete strangers for no reason. And I'm also using the term friends very loosey-goosey here because I have a hunch that they're not actually his friends. They probably can't stand to be around this annoying shit stain. They're just here because he has some viewers and they're trying to elevate themselves. That's typically how these stories go. I think it's also worth mentioning that he has clearly been heavily inspired by Jack Doherty. Jack Doherty is another public nuisance streamer who does this exact same style of content where he just travels around, makes problems, causes a ruckus, and he has a bodyguard with him so that when anyone tries to confront Jack, the bodyguard steps in and either attacks that person or scares them away and sizes them up, gets them out of there to protect Jack Doherty from the consequences of his actions while Jack peeks around the bodyguard still lobbing insults at him like a real tough guy. Also, Jack Doherty is probably about the same size as this 11-year-old. So, the reason I say that he's clearly inspired by him is because this kid also travels around with a bodyguard. That's who that dweeb with the TikTok broccoli hair was that's positioned behind the woman here. That's supposed to be this kid's muscle. Or backup, perhaps. Maybe sidekick. I believe it's supposed to be his bodyguard, though, like Jack Doherty has. But the clear difference between Jack Doherty's bodyguard and this kid's is Jack's is a full-grown adult man who is like a professional bodyguard. This kid's is another child who's still afraid of the dentist and probably still wearing Pampers and the head of the anime club. But he is still trying very hard to be like Jack Doherty. And the question needs to be asked, where are their parents? Where in the fucking world are these kids' parental figures?
Do you think I go flying fuck? Do you?
Alright, hold up. Do you? Don't do that again.
Hold up. Yeah, shut the fuck up. Let's go.
I couldn't imagine anything more painful as a parent than seeing your son like this, or any of the kids in this group here. It'd be less shameful if they were just addicted to heroin. Now, I know a lot of people default to blaming the parents here because that's a really easy thing to point the finger at, especially with so many parents just sitting their kids in front of an iPad and letting them doom scroll the internet and letting the internet raise their kids. But in a case like this, I don't necessarily know if that's 100% how this happened. I think even if you're someone who's very active in their kids' lives, they can just stumble across something like a kick streamer like Jack Doherty and see him flexing his wealth and be, blown away by that, getting stars in their eyes and be like, I want to be like that. And no matter what the parent does, they can't really snap them out of it. That's just something the kid's going to have to learn through failure and learning that they're going to end up alone and a loser by trying to be like Jack Doherty. But I think there is a clear problem here that the parents aren't here. Like, they're just letting their 11-year-olds wander around IRL streaming. Under no circumstances should a child of this age be fucking IRL streaming on Kick. Kick is a platform that actually has child predators on it. There was a whole expose video about a big streamer who was legitimately a fucking predator. And their kids are now streaming IRL on that platform right now. And even on any platform, I don't think any kids should be doing any kind of streams like this. So I really am curious why the parents aren't more present in their life to allow them to stream for hours like this. That's just downright irresponsible, 100%. But I don't necessarily blame them for the kid trying to be a Jack Doherty clone, a bootleg Jack Doherty. That's something that even if the parents were monitoring their internet usage, he may have just stumbled across through TikTok or Twitter or something and then just got hooked on it. And that's a hard thing to stop as a parent. I do understand that part, but they definitely need to know that this is not acceptable behavior or normal behavior for kids to be doing. Fucking streaming, being an asshole. Come on. The parents definitely got to step up here and do something, I would say. Unfortunately, I don't think this is going to be the last time we see a kid start to do streams like this. I really do think that streamers like Jack Doherty, who I keep name dropping, but it's just so clear his influence on this kid's life, really do create further degenerates. They just continue this cycle of degeneracy by making more people like this. And it sucks. That shit is terrible. So hopefully I'm wrong and we won't see more cases like this, but man, it's still awful. Even with just one case, that one kid was inspired enough to start trying to do the same thing. It's sad to see. And yeah, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. That's about it. So yeah. It's baffling how common it is for people to live stream their most embarrassing moments on purpose. They're filming their own lowlights, their own worst ofs for the montage of shame. Things most people would want buried forever, they are proudly with a smile on their face broadcasting to their audience for content. Today, an extremely trashy stream clip has gone viral with a streamer named Elisa Jordana firing up a live stream after learning that her boyfriend has been cheating on her. I'm going to go through most of what happens in the stream, but the clip everyone's seen, which we'll get to towards the end, is at the very end of the stream. It's about 2 hours and 20 minutes. She gets her boyfriend in the car, and then she starts attacking him while she's driving. So she starts physically hitting him. And then she hits him very hard in the nose, like a full-blown strike to the nose, like a fucking monk's palm strike to his nose. It was quite a wallop. Like, if she was playing that boxing bag game that you see at bars where it measures your punch and it, like, grades your force up to 999, she probably would have scored, like, a 700 with that strike. So it definitely could have caused some damage. She threatens to kill him, and then she continues to escalate it. She grabs on his ear and starts pulling on it, and then he starts fighting back. So he starts fighting her. He starts yanking on her hair, telling her to stop the car, and she does stop the car. He continues yanking and pulling on her. She gets out of the car. He gets out of the car, chases her down, and then he gets back in the car and turns the stream off. Without a doubt, one of the worst live streams I can think of in recent memory. It's hard to watch. It's awful. It's crimes. Like, you're watching crimes unfold.
He lied so much to me. He lied so much to me. And he lied and he told her I'm just like a streamer and it was just an investment. And like the whole time he was talking to me, he was talking to her. The whole time.
Gadzooks, what in the fuck would possibly possess you to want to start a live stream after learning something so heavy? That makes no sense. How poisoned must your brain be to possibly come up with an idea like this? Learning that your boyfriend has been cheating on you, and then immediately turning it into a stream for content? That's incomprehensible. I don't understand why people want to broadcast every single waking moment of their lives to a bunch of strangers online, a ton of goobers who are just going to sit back tossing popcorn down their gullet because it's just entertainment to them, even though it's your life that's being ruined in real time. Why do that? Fucking Jack Bauer couldn't torture me enough to force me to go live after learning something like this. He could put all the jumper cables he wants on my nipples and scrotum. I still wouldn't do it because it's a horrible thing to want to put out there. I couldn't even imagine just firing up the stream. Hey guys, this one's going to be a little bit different than usual. Turns out she's getting piped by another man right now. They're steaming ham as we speak. Oh, thanks for the $6. Charlie's girl is slobbering on my neat. Ha ha ha.
And sending her money on Venmo.
Yeah, but why are you surprised?
I'm not surprised, Brandon. I'm not surprised. Actually, I'll go to Tanger's Outlets right here.
I just don't get why you would cry over him, dude. Like, you already got money. You already supposedly got money from him.
I did, but he still was very bad, Brandon.
Yeah, so what do you think would happen if you're going to marry him, this and that?
I'm not marrying him, Brandon. I'm obviously not marrying him.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you...
She then goes for this joy ride, or lack thereof joy, and it's the most distracted driving I've ever seen. No exaggeration. She doesn't even pretend to be paying attention to the road. She is glued to her phone or reading the chat, I believe, because she does get donations. She has text-to-speech enabled, so she is getting donations throughout this stream. And she is always looking at something other than the road. That is extremely dangerous, not only to herself, but all of the people on the road around her. And you can see that she busts out that crazy U-turn and gets honked at because that came out of fucking nowhere like a jump scare to all the other drivers. This is just, it's unhinged. This is, again, unacceptable. It's illegal. You can't be driving like this. I understand she's upset after finding out her partner's been unfaithful. Anyone in the world would feel the same way. But not many people in the world would handle it the way she is, by starting up a fucking live stream for people to be tuned in on with everything. Not only is she very dangerously behaving here on the road, but then she then starts just dropping all kinds of personal information publicly. Just publicly revealing a lot of things that 100% should stay private.
Why is that a no? Okay, I'm gonna go to Tanger's Outlet actually with his card right now. All right, let's do that. Tanger's Outlet. Let's go on a shopping spree.
Hope you find your way home. 48 JSK.
Not that much money left. Should I spend this money? Sparrows for everyone?
Another lore dump for you for why she drove to the mall here. It's because she had his wallet and stated she wanted to go on a bit of a shopping spree with his cards. And then on stream, she actually opens his wallet and shows his driver's license and says, should I drop his cards in the Discord? So threatening to also just show his cards to her community. She then takes money out of his wallet and says, should I buy food for everyone? Those are all crimes. Again, you're compiling evidence against yourself. You're doing the police's job for them. You are actually showcasing criminal activity. Now, unless I miss something, she doesn't actually spend any of his money. She doesn't actually use any of his cards there. She just makes the threats that she could and would do so. She does, however, actually open his wallet, and you can see his driver's license clearly because she's bouncing it around like something out of the Disney Channel. So you can see that, but I don't think you can make out any of his other cards. But regardless, this whole thing should have never been put online. I don't know why she made the decision to start streaming this. Again, she does have text-to-speech donations enabled, so it's possible that this is all just to get some, like, money from people that are sympathizing with her because she's going through something horrible. Getting cheated on sucks. But the way she's handling it is fucking awful. She's distracted driving, dangerously putting other people's lives at risk on the road, threatening to commit some criminal actions live. And then it ends with her assaulting him, physically assaulting him live. Like, this is a horrible fucking stream.
And he thought, oh, Discord's stupid. A lot of people say that, right? So all of Scoro's private information, as well Sarah's phone number, Sarah's address, her full name, her Venmo account, transactions, are all
James donated $5. Girl, is your Mexican girl hot?
It sounds as though Elisa has fully doxed the guy and the girl here, posting all of their private information in her Discord, which is illegal. You can't do that. I also think it's worth mentioning, since you caught a glimpse of it there, Anytime that girl, Sarah, is brought up during this stream, both Elisa and the community of pay piggies that's donating to her always make sure to mention that she's Mexican. And they make statements in the chat about that as well. Throughout the stream, reading the chat, there were so many moments of genuine racism, it was fucking sickening.
I called Sarah, you fucking bitch. I'm gonna fucking kill you. Sorry. You had hit him in my presence. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about the bad topic. I think I should talk about it. No, I said I'm gonna stop talking about it. Okay, good. No, it's not okay. Are you ever been cheated on for 2 years with a 20-year-old Mexican? I doubt it. I'm not getting into my business. Okay, all right, well, I'm just telling you that's my business. I really don't want to talk to you.
This happened shortly before the viral clip from this stream where she starts hitting him in the car. So prior to them getting in the vehicle, she pushed him outside, and it was actually observed by someone who confronted her about it, because in this instance, her violent outburst was in broad daylight in view of public and bystanders. So someone came up to her, I believe it was an officer, and talked to her about it, and even during this talk, Elisa still finds a way to mention that the other girl is Mexican.
Hello? Hi, Sarah. How are you? How are you, Sarah? Hi. Thanks so much for calling. I'm just gonna send you like 6 months of texts of your nudes and, you know, different sentences that he...
Sarah, I'm sorry about this.
Don't talk. Don't fucking talk.
Idiot.
Yes, Sarah, we're really sorry about this. I'm sending him your way today.
Fucking...
Yeah. No, so Bahram, how do you pronounce it? Do you know? I don't know.
Shut the fuck up, cunt.
Yeah, what's up?
She's half your age. She's half your age.
Delete the number, please.
I cut out the ending here because it's a lot. Like, even this much, I don't even know if YouTube will allow me to show. I'm really not sure. It's legitimate assault. So she hits him a couple of times, the nose hit by far being the biggest blow. And then after where I cut it off, he grabs her hair and starts yanking and pulling on her, and she starts talking about how he's killing her, and the car stops, and then eventually she gets out of the car, he chases her down. I think she gets in another vehicle in the background, and then he comes back into the car and turns the stream off. It's a horrifying thing to watch, to be honest. As of right now, Elisa has been arrested. Her mugshot and booking information is all out there for this incident. There's no update on the guy or what's going on with that part of all of this, but what a fucking awful live stream. Now on Twitter, there's been a lot of debate about this video on whether or not the man's actions were justified in this situation, and most people are saying that they were, claiming that he was acting in self-defense. And it seems like the law would agree with them on that take, because from everything I can find, he hasn't been booked or charged with anything. Now, I think it's important we remember that the guy in this video is no saint. He cheated on his significant other. That is the behavior of a piece of shit. But under no circumstances does anyone deserve to be beaten like this. He's not a good guy, but he is still the victim of an assault. And I think all of the video evidence suggests that this was a case of self-defense. He didn't lash out at her or strike at her until she went in again for like the third or fourth time, assaulting him. And then he did fight back. Now, I do think there is a case to be made that he may have taken it too far, because he does yank and pull on her for quite some time, even once the car comes to a complete stop. So I think he probably could have gotten out of the car at that point and just left the situation entirely, but I also don't know the entire situation on where it was stopped, if it may have been dangerous to do so, I don't know. But overall, I do agree that this does seem to be him defending himself, like, from getting attacked in this vehicle. Overall, this was a fucking awful live stream. And I really don't think this is going to be the last of its kind that we see, because it feels like it's getting more and more common with people wanting to live stream every moment of their lives, even the worst parts of it. So there'll probably be more things like this in the future, which sucks. I think it's just an awful direction, but just wanted to talk about this. That's about it. See ya.